Nā mihi ki koutou, kua tae mai nei ki tēnei hui, i ngā kōrero ki te kaupapa. Nau mai haere mai, ko Mākua Tamaonga, ko Waia Te Awa, ko Nuku Tere Matatua Te Waka, ko Whakatoa Te Iwi, ko Omara Matu Te Marae, ko Te Tāmuri Te Tipuni Whare, ko Ropu Pātewahi, ko Kirikiri o Ropu Pātewahi ki te mahi. First of all, thanks Dan, thanks for the invitation, thanks everyone for being here. It's really good to get opportunities for us to get out and see our community, so thanks again and thanks everyone for being here. Yep, I do have to apologise, I am on duty, so if you see me run out the door, something bad's happening, I do apologise. We did want other people to try and get here, but then they are also very, very busy. So I'm just going to speak quickly on about how we're structured around Hamilton City, how it kind of works for us, for those people that don't know and what we kind of do and some of the issues we've been having lately. I do need to warn you as well, we're still going through our current negotiations for our contract, so I need to be mindful of what I'm saying. It's not in disagreement with the organisation, it's just being factual. So we're currently going through and acting in good faith in our union, and we hope something gets, we resolve this sort of stuff quite soon. So a bit of background on Hamilton Fire Brigade. We've got 3 stations located: Hamilton City Station just down the road, Chartwell Station and Te Rapa Station. They're all strategically placed so we can get to certain areas at certain times. It's roughly around about 7 minutes to each kind of border. Each fire truck you see driving past has got 4 people in it. We've got 3 firefighters, or our grunt workers. They're drivers, they're the ones that go inside and rescue the people and put the fires out. And the man in the front, or woman in the front passenger seat is your officer, and they kind of get the lucky job of telling people what to do and making those decisions. And then you've got me, who's a senior station officer who oversees those 3 stations and all those staff. So on each single shift or each time, as of right now, we've got 16 career staff located in those stations, 4 in Chartwell, 4 in Te Rapa and 8 in Hamilton City Station. And each station's got different variabilities of specialist equipment such as aerial appliances. Chartwell is a rescue tender. That truck travels as far as Raglan, Whirikahu, here, there and everywhere, up to the Coromandel, etc., to assist in cutting people out of cars type of thing. So that's kind of basically what we do. The way we're structured with our shift work, we do 4 days on, 4 days off, so 2 day shifts followed by 2 night shifts. But of course, as I said before, we've always need 4 people in the truck. If people are sick, people are off, people are injured, people are away, we need to replace those people. Those people are critical in those positions that they do in the seats, so we always need to replace them. That comes with us having to do overtime. You might have seen recently with some of the stuff that's been going on publicly that we're heavily under-resourced, particularly in the organisation, but particularly in Hamilton. Because of a lot of overtime shifts and people being away, we are spending a lot of time away from home, working upwards to 90 to 100 hours just so we can be there and protect our community. So it really does take a toll on us physically and mentally, but we're really here because we really do want to protect our community. On top of those overtimes, we have callbacks as well. So if there's any major fire, we had one last week just down in Duke Street. Not sure if those people were able to see it. You would have definitely seen it from here. With a simple job like a house fire or person's reported, that will consume all of those 4 trucks, or all of us 16 here in Hamilton, just like that. Once that's done, unfortunately, there's none of us around to respond to any other calls there and then. So I myself will put what we call a pager down, and people will voluntarily and hopefully come back off duty, whether they're at home, drop their lunch, or middle of the night in bed, and come back and respond and give us a hand. So again, that's another thing that we do, we ask our staff to do to help back us up and support us, because we're struggling for resources at those times. So what do we do apart from fight fires? I spoke about we cut people out of cars. We have lines rescue crews here, so we're one of the lucky ones where we're trained in line rescue and we can travel all over the upper North Island. We luckily have the support of Westpac Chopper who will fly us all around as far as down to Wellington, Gisborne. We can send our crews here, there and everywhere, so really, really busy again with the resources there. Drones, we respond to drone crew as well. They travel the country, which keeps us really busy with search and rescue, spot fires, large forest fires, etc., thermal imaging cameras. So again, really, really busy in what we do around here. Water rescues as well. Obviously, we've got a big segment of water that runs through our city. So we also do water rescues with the support of Ngāti Wahia, who's a volunteer brigade, just up the river. They've got a jet ski there that was donated, so they help us and support us with that too, with the help of the police and their boat as well. So we're obviously already saying we're working with these people a lot. And I'm just going to speak on another type of calls that we go to, because it's a very difficult one for us, and it was one that was kind of thrown to us in 2013. In 2013, our organisation, without us knowing, signed a memorandum of understanding with St John's, and that was to respond to purple-coded calls. So those are calls when people are life-threatening or non-breathing. These are your types of cardiac arrests, your drownings. Unfortunately, we didn't know, but it was sending us to suicides and murder-type events. And that literally happened overnight to us without even warning. I went to work one day, I came to work the very next day, and I was being turned out to these types of calls. So that's been a difficult thing for us. Talking about our contract management, we're trying to get better support in that department. But it's something I want to speak about today, because it's something that we are kind of struggling with, but we are really supportive of that. And if you do see us or recognise us turning up before St John's, that's the reason why. We often do beat St John's to these calls. We are having a benefit in saving people's lives, but unfortunately it does come at a cost for us mentally and physically as well. The frequency of these calls are almost daily, and sometimes they can happen multiple times during the day or at night. And as I said, they come with an extreme cost to us physically and psychologically. Sadly, I've had two close friends, both in Auckland and down in Hamilton, that have taken their own lives due to the compounding psychological injuries of these. So it's really something that, again, we're supportive of, but it has taken a huge toll on us. And it's something through our contract negotiations that we're really looking to get better support from. Our organisation does provide some support, but it's really not enough. Literally overnight, that workload changed by 30%. So 30% of our workload from the country, for be it career or volunteer staff, is now responding to those purple coded calls. So we are seeing the benefit of it, as I said, and we do wish to continue to do these calls, and we will carry on doing these types of calls. But again, going back to our organisation, we want people to recognise that does take its toll on us. Just some other major, some other difficulties you may have seen just out in the paper, and I don't want you all to stress, because we will get these solved, but it's just about being factual so everyone knows here what we're trying to fight for you guys, so we can continue to do our job. The fleet, the age of our trucks, I respond in multiple of trucks. Two of the trucks I currently ride are 24 years old. To put that in context, if it was a 24-year-old police car, it would be one of those black and white Mitsubishi Sigmas. But for some reason, because it's a big red fire truck, they don't seem to worry. So we've got a real issue with that. And again, we're pushing it through our organisation to make sure that the ongoing dispatching of newer trucks is going to help us. It's not nice, and I've done it a few times, unfortunately, sat in the truck where someone needs my help down the road and my truck wouldn't start. It's a bit of a struggle, but we will get there. Bizarrely, as firefighters, we all know we're exposed to high masses of carcinogens, but ACC won't recognise cancer causing from carcinogens. Personally, myself, before I joined the job, I have been through cancer. I know what that's like. And it's sad that our organisation, or ACC, currently doesn't recognise the risk that we take to save everyone is not being recognised through ACC. So again, we've got a lot of smart people in our organisation. We've got a lot of research and international research being done, which has proven that we need that support. So if you ever hear that type of commentary, that's what it's really about. I spoke about dangerously low staffing levels and the impact that it has. We all know, we all hear Hamilton is the city of the future. We always joke about that, but it really is. This place is really, really exploding. We haven't had an increase in staff since the 1990s. We're continuing to push using a lot of research and data, but we really need more staff to carry on and to keep up with the forever exploding population. We are supposed to have a new station built at Hamilton East. Sadly, that hasn't started yet, and we hope it does get there soon, because we hope it actually doesn't cost a life. But as I said, we're still always going to turn up when we need it, so please don't worry about that. We currently don't have also any income protection. bizarre again that we're the ones that risk our lives to try to save people, and we often do that on the daily. We do save people. It's a great privilege of this job. Bizarrely, if you're a graphic designer for our organisation, or you simply work for one of our executive assistants type, say, in an office job, you do get income protection. So it's a bit tough to swallow that, and that's part of the reasons why you've probably seen sort of stuff publicly come out. Again, this is no disrespect to organisation, but it's something simple that we're trying to ask for and have been for some time, that we are simply valued for the job that we do. Yeah, as I said, we're still working on an expired contract. It has been that for probably 18, almost to 2 years coming up. And just to give some kind of context to that, if you start as a trainee firefighter, I actually did some interviews this morning for new people that wanted to join our job. Sadly, we've seen a massive, I'm not sure what the police are like, but sadly we've seen a massive decrease in interest in wanting to join our job. When I applied for a position, I started in Auckland, there was over 1,000 people applied for 19 positions. Sadly, that has massively dropped. I'm not sure what the main cause of that is. It's probably due down to, if you're a hammerhand, you probably get paid a lot better than what we do. And sadly, it's starting to take a bit of a toll on us because we're having to work a lot more hours, and we're probably not getting the quality of people that we would really want to. So if you start as a trainee firefighter, you start on approximately $46,000. Again, a little bit of a kick in the guts. That is the lowest paid employee in Fire and Emergency New Zealand, is your firefighter. So it doesn't make sense. Again, please don't be alarmed. We really do love our job, and we are pushing for much better conditions to continue to protect and support you, and we will always be here. I just want to also speak on the organisation, where they are now in a path of research and evidence-based type development. So we're pushing, again, we're continuing to pushing hard here for the Hamilton and Waikato Brigade. And one of our research reports has come through with a lot of interesting information. So I'll just excuse me reading off this, but there's a lot of key points that I'd like to talk about. So obviously we're all aware that we're now part of the Golden Triangle with the inland port in Auckland. Peacock subdivision, which is out towards the airport, and I think there's approximately around 7,000 sections that are going to be developed in the Waikato Hamilton area. So that's a guesstimate of roughly around 21,000 additional population to the area. And we've got the rapid growth of industrial area, obviously, like Te Rapa. So those are all considerations with a massive growing city that we've got to try and protect with the same amount of people. Call numbers for us, so we've got an average increase of 9% of call numbers for us to respond to. So by the end of 2024, they're expecting approximately 3,500 calls that we will be responding to within the Hamilton area. Currently, we respond to just over 2,500, and we're struggling to respond to those. A lot of the times, like I said, we may have a fire or another call here. We've often got multiple calls happening at times, so I've got to try and juggle trucks to try and manage all of that as well. So it can be very difficult, and the idea of having to respond to another 1,000 calls per year is going to get really tough. 2/3 of our calls in Hamilton are considered working jobs. So a lot of those jobs, a lot of the calls you might see where people accidentally burn toast, that's cool, those are the ones that we love, but those are not considered working jobs. So what it's saying is, with 2/3 of our jobs are actually calls that we're doing something, people genuinely need our help, we're cutting people out of cars, or we've got fires. So that, again, that goes back to being heavily relied on resources and our staff turning up. Hamilton Station is the 7th busiest in the country, so we're the fourth populous city in the country. We are the 7th busiest on average, and Hamilton City Station alone, the pump alone attends 1,900 calls, so it's roughly about five a day. Sometimes it can be a couple at night, sometimes it can be 12 at night. The cops give us a little bit of jib because they're like, "Oh, you guys get to sleep," but often it doesn't really happen like that. So some of the findings just around Hamilton. So as we know, Hamilton is one of New Zealand's fastest growing cities, with the population increase being a natural increase within its own boundaries. With the expansion and infrastructure rapidly evolving on the outskirts of the city, this is placing greater demands on our responding crews. While the pandemic has brought light to many issues, what has also shown is the strength of our service delivery, and in particular the resilience and resourcefulness of our people to continue to turn up for work and provide a professional response while the majority of New Zealand were able to stay at home. The issues around staffing levels and resource allocation has generally been well documented, and regularly highlighted issues with callback models that don't allow for enough cover for sick leave, training, service holidays and the requirement of the Holidays Act. Staff are working very long hours, myself included, often over or right on fatigue management limits to ensure that response capability is available for the communities they serve. This is set against the backdrop of an expired contract and the lack of perceived action by the organisation to address these issues. All three of the career stations within Hamilton City rank highly in terms of the number of responses when compared to all stations across the country. Removing those false alarms from the total incidents attended by our crews make Hamilton Station the third busiest station. Now, if you consider Auckland City Station, Greyland Station, Parnell, Wellington City Station, those are all heavily populated areas. Hamilton is very good for keeping us really, really busy. Chartwell being the 25th busiest station in the country and Te Rapa 32nd. As referenced before, Chartwell is that rescue tender. It is the busiest rescue tender in all of our region. So our region covers from south of Pocono all the way down to Gisborne. So a big region. So just finishing with I guess it's a problem statement, is we must address our current resourcing and ensure it's building towards the future. This is to better support our people, all of you here, address the major growth and expansion of Hamilton City, the greater Waikato, and provide standards of cover that the community expect of fire and emergency. So it sounds quite grim, right? It's not. We will, trust me, we will get there. The positive outside this, it can't all be bad, right? Is we really, really love our job. It is the best job in the world. Sorry, guy, I mean, we've got a pilot here and a police woman. That's pretty cool too. If it wasn't this, it'd be one of these two. Yeah. I want your job. We do make a difference, and we do actually save lives. We don't do it for the recognition. We actually do it for the satisfaction of helping our communities. It was really tough for us to walk out during strike action. A lot of our members have been in the job. Some of them have been 50 years, some early on for 2 years to 25 years. And it's the first time I've seen these growing, I would say, heroes be brought to tears, because it's been such a massive impact on us to not be able to be there to support our community. So we see the good and the bad, and we see it together. We are getting better. We are in a day and age where we can communicate as grown adult men and women and share our feelings. So we are going to be okay. It is going to continue to be tough, but that's part of our job. We understand and we appreciate that. Like I said, usually I've got 3 other firefighters here following me around. It's much easier when there's 3 or 4 of you together, because you can continue to share it. Someone asked me during the strike, how can people help? We just love our community. If you ever see us out, both career and volunteer, if you see your local firefighters, come and have a cordial with us, come and talk to us, come say hello. It means the world to sit down and have a cup of tea with you guys, or a cup of coffee, and just have a chat. You guys are what motivates us to get up and go to work. We want to continue to make you safe. As much as it is the best job in the world, we're here to support you guys. So once again, thanks very much. Feel free to ask questions at the end of this. We really do appreciate the invite. Hopefully I don't have to shoot off shortly, because we tend to be quite busy. But yeah, thanks again, Daniel, and we really, really appreciate it. Cheers.